Hi, Kim McGrath here from Expressions of the Universe with your full harvest moon in Pisces weekly wisdom and forecast for September 18th through September 25th. And I have cards for all astrological signs. I'm going to do those first. Then I'm going to look at the charts of some of our viewers and discuss this full harvest moon and all of the different planetary energies that are going on right now. So sit tight, sit back, pop some corn, and have at it. It's crazy intense energy, I'll tell you that. I have the crystal and the power goddess of the week. I'll do them first. So my crystal of the week is blue chalcedony, and I do have some of that right here. Really not one of my most favorite stones. I guess my nail polish matches it. My nails are a hot mess, by the way. And can I get the, can you see that blue chalcedony? Anyway, I will post this on Facebook and Instagram this coming week. So the thing with my lighting, my dogs broke two of my studio lights, like my two main studio lights, and I've been trying to find the right light and it's just not working. Anyway, so blue chalcedony, I do have that energy written down. It's going to be great for this week, to be honest with you. I'm always amazed at how the right crystal, the right power goddess always comes through. But yeah, not one of my most favorite because it's just blah. Like it looks like blue lace agate, however, doesn't have all of the little waves in it. All right, so blue chalcedony, it's great for sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra. Really goes well with water signs like Cancer. Well, that's the only water sign. It's Cancer, Virgo, Sagittarius, Aquarius. The vibration is number 9. And it is for emotional balance, vitality, stamina, endurance, energy, intensity, hardiness, nurturance, generosity, liveliness, kindness, charity, and friendliness. So that really is great for this week's energy. And it does say chalcedony is a nurturing stone that promotes brotherhood and goodwill. And gosh, don't we need that right now? We really do. It absorbs negative energy. It brings the mind, body, and emotions and spirit into harmony. Perfect for the next couple of weeks, maybe the next couple of months. Chalcedony instills feelings of benevolence and generosity. So I love that. I picked that, and when I am picking those cards, I'm, doing it blindly. So, great message from Spirit. Be sure to check out the full post on Facebook and Instagram at Expressions of the Universe. I'm also going to use some beautiful moonstone. And this is like a rainbow moonstone. Maybe you could see it, hopefully. And, whatever color you would like to use is fine. Rainbow moonstone specifically because this full moon is in Pisces at 28 degrees. And so this is going to be very, very powerful. It will help to ground us because the emotions are going to be so intense. If you're not feeling it already, I don't know what to tell you because emotions and people's energy, even though I'm in my house, I could feel it and it's been really overwhelming. But this also helps us to tap into our intuition. And I'll tell you, my intuition has been so off the chain lately. And I know that everybody else's has to be too. It's just a matter of whether you're acknowledging it or not. And I do second guess myself a lot. I was looking for 2 items today. I was looking for my little black bag. Anybody that has been following me for any period of time I have these little tiny cards that have inspirational words on them in here. And I was looking for this in my office, and then my guide said, no, the bag is wherever. And, you know, if you've been following me for a while, I haven't used this for a really long time. And sure enough, it was there. And then my son-in-law swore that I had borrowed a hat of his. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I remember putting it on, but I thought I left it in his car. Anyway, I was looking all over for it all week long. And then out of the blue, my guides told me to look behind the sofa. And sure enough, it was there. So I don't know if it's because like maybe I noticed that it fell behind the sofa like months ago. We're going back to, I think this is from July, June or July. Or, you know, was it really my guides? Anyway, and then the other thing with the energy and with the intuition. So I have a really cool story, and I hope my friend Julie Shields doesn't mind me mentioning this story. So she had this beautiful healer dog. You know, they have blue healers and red healers. And this pup, his name was Henry, and he passed away while they were out on a hike, like suddenly. And I think he was only about a year old. I think he was very young. And he came to me and he showed me this whole scene. He told me he was okay, showed me the man that he was walking away with, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this was several years ago that this happened. And like, it broke my heart so bad because when he came to me, I could feel all of the pain and everything. And this is, you know, Julie lives like 2,000 miles away from me, just so you know. Anyway, so here this week, I was thinking about Henry, and it's been years. And I was like, oh, you know, oh, he was such a sweet pup, you know. Just thinking about him, feeling good, feeling the love and everything. And I dismissed it. For a moment, I thought maybe I should tell Julie. And then I thought, no, you know, like it's just me thinking a random thought or whatever. The other day, while I was at work, I was waiting for somebody to respond to me for something. So I didn't want to do anything. And I went on my phone, which I never really do during work. And the first thing that came up was, it was a red healer, I believe. He reminded me of Henry. And this girl was saying, oh, this is my new pup, and we can't decide what to name him. Anybody have any suggestions? And I said, why don't you name him Henry? Because, oh, I said, he looks like a Henry that was once loved very much by my friend Julie Shields. And I tagged her in it, but then I also messaged her. And here I said, I know this is going to sound so silly and everything. I said, but I kind of feel like, you know, I've been picking up on him this week and whatever. And she said, that's so weird because, you know, I've been lighting a candle for him this week. And I was hoping to get a message from him. And I was like, oh my gosh. So he came to me again, all these years later, to let her know, I know you're lighting a candle for me. And the great thing is, this is what spirit does, even if it's animal spirit. He sent me a sign. He put that thought in my head. This is my belief that I was thinking of him, right? And I ignored it. You know, I just ignored it as a random thought. And then 2 days later, maybe it was 1 day later, up comes that picture on Facebook, and, you know, the rest is history. So it's like spirit will nudge. They will keep sending you signs until you finally get it. So don't second guess yourself. I do it all the time, but that's because I'm an overthinker. Okay, so totems and signs. I've been seeing crazy totems and signs all week. When I was driving to my doctor on Wednesday for my back, I saw like 2 dozen vultures flying overhead on top of this ridge. And I'm like, uh-oh, it felt like death, but I know that they symbolize nothing being wasted. They are the cleanup crew. They don't kill. They come in after something has been killed or something has died and they clean it up. They also will they'll send a sentinel out to other vulture flocks and let them know, hey, we have food, and bring them in. There were so many. It was crazy, but it was really ominous. What else have I seen? My dreams have been crazy with that, filled with animal totems. However, I have a skunk problem right now. So a skunk decided to take up residency underneath of my pool shed. You know, it's burrowing down, I guess, preparing for winter. The autumnal equinox is occurring here on September 22nd. And well, guess what? I have a beagle and then I have a Schnauzer poodle mix, which they're both hunting dogs. And it hasn't been great. I don't believe the skunk has been hurt, but the odor has been horrendous. The whole inside of my pool shed is so nasty. But I've been dealing for 2 days with this skunk issue, and I think I got him out, and then I put fencing up all around because the beagle completely down trying to get under the foundation of the pool shed. So I've got like massive holes all the way around. It's a mess. So skunk totem talks about knowing our self-worth. And even if you're being shunned and you're being judged, those people don't know you, and people are maybe not trying to get close enough to you, or even to maybe you are not allowing yourself to be open, but it's about knowing your self-worth. Okay, so the other message that I had, and I wrote it in one of my blogs a couple weeks ago, talks about 50 feet, and I may have mentioned it in one of these videos. So here we are, body. We have this aura or energy that extends out from our body. And depending on how you're vibing, that's the color of your energy. A lot of people can see auras. If I really put my focus on things, I can see auras. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. But then if you're not doing it every single day, then it can fade. But there's a lot of instructions online if you Google on how to see auras, like starting with your hand and like the space in between your hand. Anyway, it is said that our energy, our aura, extends 50 feet, which is pretty far, out from us, all the way around, up, down, every side. So if you knew that your energy extends 50 feet out from your body in all directions, you're going to be bumping into other living beings, other living things, other elements. And so what energy do you want to be bringing when you're hitting up against somebody else's energy? You know, do you want your energy up here, or do you want it down here? So constantly be thinking about, what are you doing with your 50 feet? Because when your energy bumps up against somebody, this is, like the radiation of your energy, your vibe going out into the universe and the world. What frequency are you sending out? Because you're bumping into other people's energy, and that's becoming a part of them. So, in order to raise our vibration, if we raise our own vibration, then everything that we come into contact with also helps to raise their vibration. That's what I'm getting at. And we really need it at this time because things are dense and they're heavy and they're emotional, and that's the energy that we are in. And it's a little difficult, but I'll give you some advice on that when I talk about the astrology. The power goddess of the week, it is Danu. And my light is still a little too bright. I'm just going to pause this and fix my light real quick. All right, so I hope this works. I'm not having any good luck with lighting. I have to buy a new light. Anyway, it's Danu, and it is said she's the Celtic goddess that birthed magic. And when she appears, know that you are about to go through some magical shifts and some wonderful things are going to be coming your way. I will post the full channeled message and more information about her on Facebook and Instagram next week. So be sure to check her out. Now, let me get to, I'm going to do the cards for all zodiac signs. I have no idea how many minutes I've been talking. And I'm going to be using the Wisdom of the Avalon deck by Colette Baron Reed. And I separated this deck. It has like 3 different types of cards in it. And it has like the people cards, then it has animal totem cards, and then it has like mile marker cards. And so what I think I'm going to do, I'm not going to use the people cards because that's like for a really long reading, but I am going to use the animal totem section and the mile marker cards. And so let me shuffle them, and I'll pull 2 cards for each sign. You want to be sure to check out your sun sign, your rising ascendant sign, and your moon sign. And if you know your chart and you know that you have some signs that might have clusters of planets in it, you can also look that up because that will be a heavy influence. I will say from an astrological point of view, and I'm going to pull 1 card from the top, Libra, Virgo, Pisces, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Gemini, Capricorn. There's a lot going on in those signs right now, or there will be over the next week. So mostly Libra and Taurus, and Scorpio. Those are going to be the most prominent energies going on for the next couple of weeks. All right, so I'm shuffling these, and then I'm just going to pull random right from the top. I'm not going to look. All right. Let's get ready here. Hopefully I fixed the lighting enough so that you'll be able to see your cards. All right, so for Aries, your animal totem is dog, and I love that because that talks about loyalty. It asks who are you loyal to and who is loyal to you. So this is for Aries, suns, risings, and moons. And it's loyalty, sincerity, unconditional love. And that's going to be so important during this time because all of us are really needing to go within and really focus on ourselves more than anything instead of the other. But we're coming into this energy of taking a look at all of our relationships and discerning who stays, who goes, who's worthy, who's not. And like even the relationship that you have with inanimate things in your life. So you want to think about the dog energy, and it's like, who are you loyal to but maybe isn't loyal back to you. Take a look at the people that maybe are loyal to you and you haven't maybe been so good. So that will be your message, Aries. And then your marker card, it's protection. So Aries suns, risings, and moons, for some reason, you're going to have to put up some really strong boundaries, some extra protection to block out that negativity. Think about your own 50 feet when it comes to the energy and the aura that you're giving off. And black tourmaline, jet, obsidian, hematite, selenite, they're all very good protection stones if you need that. Okay. Had to think about it. Taurus, suns, risings, and moons. And oh my gosh, and I'm a Taurus rising. Oh, I love it. It's the raven. It's the raven. That's magic. Magic is a foot. This is also talking about coincidence, synchronicity, synchronistic events, magic. And so like that just makes me think about the Henry story that I just told. And so that totally aligns. Taurus, you get very grounded. People may not think that Tauruses are maybe all that intuitive because, it's a dense earth sign, but actually when you're so connected to the earth and nature, especially like if you know me, and I mean, I'm always out in nature and with animals and everything, I think that that really helps with the connection. And the mile marker for the Taurus suns, risings, and moons, it is joy. So this is where you're going to put your focus. This is coming to you if you're not already in that place. And so love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, Gemini. So I'm a Gemini sun, 14 people in one. Spin the wheel and see what you get. I just posted that on my personal Facebook. I found it hilarious. Oh, I love it. It's the spider. And I've been doing a lot of exploration lately with the asteroid Arachne, which is the spider, and she really shows up a lot in my chart. But this is about creativity, the web that you weave. So the words and your thoughts, that's also the web you're weaving. And the spider in some cultures has been said to create the entire universe, but it's also through words and through thoughts that we're creating the life that we're living in. What does this specifically say? Creative projects. So there's going to be some new things coming through for the Gemini suns, risings, and moons, definitely. And you're in the final months of the North Node in Gemini. So at least launch it. Oh, but I got to tell you that we will be going into, not till next week. Retrograde is the following week. And your marker is communication. So how about that? Creativity and communication. But communications could be a little crazy because Mercury, the planet that rules Gemini, is in its shadow period. So, communications could be wonky. This is a great time for open communications, but only in a place of pure transparency, honesty, and trust. Cancer, suns, risings, and moons. It is the cow. Oh, we can't see that very well, can we? Oh, there we go. There we go. The cow. And the cow always talks about abundance and prosperity and always having enough. Even if you think that maybe, you're lacking in something, the cow is coming through to really say, no, you have so much more than you realize. So, think about all the things that you're grateful for, and you start to realize how much you actually have. This says, it's also about nourishment. So that's really super important as well. Like, are you eating well? Are you eating enough? Are you eating too much? What are you putting into yourself? So because health on this full moon is playing a huge, huge part. Abundance and asking and receiving. Oh, that's interesting. I think cancers, I think water signs in general, well, people in general, a lot, have a hard time asking for help or have a hard time receiving help. I know that I'm really terrible. I'm horrible at asking for help. And even when people offer their help, I'm always like, no, I'm okay. And that's why I've got this back issue, because I always turn that down. So that's part of my lesson, I think, personally, is being more open to asking for help and receiving help. So Cancer, and I know I'm talking about myself, but like I always put my own analogies into like, what is coming up. It helps me to process it. So yes. Yeah, and definitely for the cancers with the nourishment, because Cancer rules the breasts and the stomach. And so it's really important that you're pristine with what you're eating, what you're putting into your body, making sure not too much, not too little, just enough. So some of you may be needing to seek out a nutritionist. And your marker card, it's movement. And I like that. So if things have been stagnant for you, Cancer, suns, risings, and moons, things are going to start to move forward. The full moon is in Pisces, which is a sister water sign of yours. So, and I love this because there is water in here, and it says any obstacles, you're finally going to be able to move around that. And I love that. All right, Leo, suns, risings, and moons. You have the dragon. And so the dragon talks about power, and it is a fire sign. It is a fire symbol, as you can see. But so this dragon is saying to me, like any Leo suns, risings, and moons, if you're feeling like a sense of defeat, you are more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And this full moon should uh, will I can't even talk. It will empower you, because the moon will be at Pisces at 28 degrees. And so within a few hours, after the apex of the full moon, it will be moving into Aries. So it's going to be full in Aries, but it's not a Aries full moon. Aries is the sister sign of Leo, so it's like that fire energy. There will be a trine from the moon in Aries to the sun in Leo, and I think that will help empower you. Your bright ideas might come to fruition, but this, I'm also hearing for the Leos, don't make it a power struggle. Don't use force or aggression, because then that's not power. That's just bully. Even if you're angry. So it could be a little bit of an angry time. And your marker is focus. And I think this is going to be great for the Leos, suns, risings, and moons. It's like, where are you putting your focus? Focusing on the right things, the good things, focusing on the positive things in your life, focusing on all the good things that you have right here in this moment. That's what your card is. So leave it at that. Virgo. So Virgo, this is your last hurrah, because Virgo season is ending, and the sun will be moving into Libra on on Wednesday, September 22nd, when we have the equinox. Your totem is the cat. And so Virgo, this is pretty funny, because I know a lot of Virgos that love their kitties, but it's about independence. Cats love they love their independence, but they're so demanding. They want to be loved when they want to be loved. They want to be left alone when when they say, I know my cat, when she wants to eat, when she wants to be touched, it's like she is demanding. But it really is about independence and freedom. It's also about like breaking away from codependence. Um, and it doesn't have to be codependence of people, it could be like habits and situations. But this also says it's about setting healthy boundaries. So Virgos, you having to set some healthy boundaries, and I know that is part of this particular full moon, so we will get into that with the astrology. Your marker card, it's disruption. But do not fret. The disruption, is that what that says? Yes, disruption. So it's like things are flowing and then, oh, a block comes. So with it being Virgo, could it be like a writer's block, a mental block? Maybe, there's going to be some sort of a delay. We are in the Mercury shadow for the retrograde. Mercury also is a co-ruler of Virgo. I don't think this is going to be horrible, because I think when I'm seeing this, it's just saying, hey, Virgos, how about if you just slow down for a little bit, a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, and just like surrender into the energy and allow that energy to integrate. And then before you know it, the disruption will be over. That's kind of what I'm picking up. Libra. Libras, you have butterfly. And I love that. So, butterfly is about new beginnings. So something is kicking off in this full Pisces moon, this harvest moon, that actually will come to fruition somewhere between the end of February and the third week of March, when it's Pisces season. And this does talk about beauty in general. And it talks about, if you haven't seen my card on Facebook and Instagram, I posted the other day, the beauty way. And it's about seeing everything, seeing the beauty in everything, seeing the balance and the harmony, because even things that people perceive as being ugly, everything has an inherent beauty within it. And it's all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I'm going to leave that at that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Just remember that. Oh no, this is not what it means, Libra. I'm just letting you know before I show you. Your marker card is death. And that just means that something is coming to an ending, which kind of, oh, wrong card. It goes perfect with your card because the butterfly is transformation and new beginning. So you have to put some things to bed. You have to end some things in order to get this. So this is a perfect balance for a Libra. It is the yin and the yang. I love it. Leaving it at that. Scorpio, stag energy, Scorpio. This is about leadership. It is about quiet, prideful, not prideful. It's quiet power, like, sticking out your chest, but, you don't have to boast about it. This is about standing in your power, not allowing anybody to push you around. And what does that else say? It says pride and leadership. Yeah, it's about taking a leadership role. So Scorpios, it's time for you to step up if you haven't already. Especially, Venus is in Scorpio right now, so things are pretty hot and steamy. So I think some Scorpios, suns, risings, and moons with that Venus and Scorpio, they could be a little aggressive and just step into that leadership. Excuse me. Excuse me. And your marker card is perception. And I love that. So that's what you're going to be focusing on during this next couple of weeks. Can you see the forest for all the trees? Taking a higher perspective and just observing. I think all of us really just need to be in that observer's position. And if you are being asked to step into a leadership role, step back and take a look at, the whole entire thing, like, and you may not be able to garner that in, a few hours or even maybe a few days. So you could possibly have to take 2 weeks to really think about it. Sagittarius, hawk spirit. And that was one of my totems this week. Definitely. So this is about hawk brings messages from spirit. They are soaring high above. So that's part of the perspective, because they're looking out over the land at everything. The really great thing about hawk is, yes, they are predators. They're always like eyeing up prey. But the interesting thing is that they're not going to kill something if they're not hungry. Like if they ate, they'll see an animal down on the ground or a bird or, whatever. That doesn't mean that they're actually going after it. Although the animals down on the ground are probably frightened to death. Yes, it's omens and messages. So pay attention, definitely, Sagittarians. Be on point with your intuition. Fear. Fear is the card that is coming up. So, think about this. For all of us, not just the Sages, there's fear all over this planet right now. Some of it is warranted fear. A lot of it is not. And so, sit with that for a minute, sit with those fears, maybe journal about it. And, maybe you are getting messages, intuitive messages that are putting you into the fear. But, this is just really about going within yourself and taking a look at all of those shadow parts within yourself. Capricorn. It is the swan. The swan. And I love this because the swan does talk about transformation. It does talk about beauty as well, and what is perceived to be beautiful and good. That's what I'm just thinking of off the top of my head. This particularly says transformation, trusting the psychic gifts. Oh yeah, that's really nice. So Capricorns, another sign that is not typically associated with intuition or psychic abilities, but you know what? They really are. I heard this the other day and I forget. So I apologize for not being able to acknowledge the quote. But if you think about the goat climbing the mountain and they have the horns, or even the sea goat, those horns are considered like antenna up to the divine. And so there is a transformation coming, and really pay attention to the signs, because all of us are going to be on point. We're going to be really flooded through our dreams and our daily waking life, but especially Capricorns. And maybe there could be a goose coming into your life that you're not aware of. I have a couple of Capricorns that could fit the bill. And all right. Oh. Your marker card is risk. And I love this. So this is saying, I think you may have to wait until, until the Mercury retrograde is over, but it's going to be worth the risk. And you won't, like, how will you find out if something would work if you're not willing to take a risk? This is about jumping in with both feet, but like really kind of weighing your options. At the end of a long road, you're finally willing to take the risk. So something new and wonderful is coming up for the Capricorn suns, risings, and moons. Aquarius. It is horse totem. And horse totem always says to me, it's about freedom, definitely needing to run away. And of course, Aquarians are like that. It's power, it's freedom. It is Let's see, what does this say? Accepting help from another as well. And delegating authority. Oh, okay. So that's interesting. So Aquarians, if you are feeling a sense of overwhelm and you've got too much on your plate, it's time to start delegating. You need to break free and realize you can't do it all. And the horse is also symbolizing to me that it's time for you to take a little mini break at least and get away. Get, you know, go, like even if it's a day trip or a weekend getaway, you need that break in order to reset for sure. Your marker card is trust, and I love that. This is going to be a big theme coming up, but trust is also saying that you have to start to learn how to trust in other people. Like you cannot possibly take everything on. I know that you do it better than everybody else. Trust me, I know. However, you just have to kind of surrender the need to control is what I'm hearing, and trust that other people are going to help step up and take care of things for you. All right, and last but not least, Pisces, this is your full moon. It is going to be off the chain. Oh my gosh, the veil is just like coming right down. Pisces, you're going to be so tuned in, tuned in, turned on, tapped in, whatever. So really, it's going to take everything for you to really just stay very grounded, breathe a lot. Your animal totem, it's eagle, the eagle eye. It's the all-knowing eye. I love that. The eagle also sits up on his perch, very proud, very majestic. And this is also about receiving messages from spirit, for sure. This does say spirit, integrity, connection to the angelic realm. It is card 9. So this is saying that this full moon is setting you off on a new path. And oh, the mystery. I love it. And so the mystery, when this card comes up, it says you have to surrender to not knowing what is next. Surrender to the fact that the universe or your God, or, you know, whatever you believe in, won't send you anything that isn't meant for you. Okay. So the mystery, it's just like, be excited, be curious about what is about to show up next, because this is saying it could be really good. Now, there could be a lesson there, right? And so, you know, if something, what you perceive to be really crappy shows up, and you say, oh, Kim said it was going to be something really great. Just remember, it's all in your perception, and you may be in need of another lesson in order to get to that next place. So don't ever question what shows up, because it's all for our own good and our own benefit. I need to get a drink. Excuse me. Gotta pause this real quick. Okay, so let's get into the astrology and the chart readings that I promised. I will share my screen. All right, there we go. So here we have the chart for the full harvest moon in Pisces. And I did this so that if anybody wanted to pause this and take a screenshot, you can. And just pointing out a couple of the things. It's September 20th, 21st, depending on where you are in the world. Full moon will be in Pisces at 28 degrees, 13 minutes, 13 seconds. Sun in Virgo at the same key aspects. So I list them here. This is only some of the aspects. I didn't even put all of them in because it's just so much energy going on. Big focus I want to point out is here's the sun in the 6th house. We will have the moon in the 12th house. So full moons, it's when there's an opposition or opposing forces between the sun and the moon, because it has to create that light, the light of the sun is shining on the moon. When we have a new moon, they're right next to each other or conjunct, and the sun actually blocks out the light from the moon, so you don't get to see it. Some things that are really important in this full moon, we're going to be taking a look at. So here is that Mercury in its shadow. All right, it's days away from going retrograde. Venus, I think this is the right chart. Yeah. Okay, so Venus is in Scorpio, which Venus doesn't like being in Scorpio, but it's in the 7th house of Libra. Mars is in Libra. We're going to be paying attention to, so let me try and collect my thoughts. And I can't seem to collect my thoughts, because I know that we're paying attention to where is your Mercury in your chart. Also, where is your Venus and your Mars in your charts? Venus rules Libra, so the sun will be moving into Libra within a couple of hours of this aspect. And Venus rules Libra, but it also rules Taurus as well. So we have Uranus and Taurus. These planets are all speaking to each other. That's what these lines are, without getting into too much detail. But just to give you some flavor, Mercury is in Libra. So Venus typically rules Libra. And it's trining Jupiter. It is going to be squaring Pluto. That is some like deep, dark, intense thinking. Without spending an entire, day talking about all these aspects that are going on, do have some key theme words down here of what we're doing. And I did take some channeled notes. Originally, I wrote, hearts lead to a decision that will lead to protecting our heart and setting up, boundaries in order to align with a higher vibration for abundance, prosperity, and peace. Feeling alone despite being surrounded by people, a need to retreat, finding our own secret world or our own secret space. A lot of us are suffering from the public and the noise and that's going around. Seclusion will bring success now. Great time to hermitize. With Mars opposing, so here's Mars opposing that moon. It feels like everyone is angry. Things will get lighter. There will be shifts. It's always darkest before the dawn. Everybody wants to look at 24 to 25 degrees of the cardinal signs, which are Cancer. Where are you? Cancer, down here. Cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. If you have anything that is 24 to 25 degrees in those signs, you're going to feel a lot of that intensity for sure. Expect food shortages to be coming. So you really want to start thinking about what you're putting away for the winter. Food and supply shortages becoming increasing, the energy is becoming increasingly tense, especially when the North Node moves into Taurus. So here's the North Node. Now, interesting, all of the planets typically move clockwise unless they're going retrograde, but the nodes of the moon always move in a clockwise fashion. So the North Node is currently at 4 degrees of Gemini, and it's moving towards Taurus. It will hit there January of 2022 and be there for 18 months. That's when we're really going to start to, I think, feel food shortages for sure. There's a lot of closures and completions where this full moon falls in your own chart. So just so you know, closures and completions where this full moon falls in your chart. So if you happen to have Pisces in the 12th house, which no, I have a portion of it. A portion of my 12th house is in Pisces. That's, where there will be closures and completions. Hygeia, she's a new asteroid. She's not a new asteroid, but she's new in my reports, and I do talk about her. She talks about our health, which is also 6th house. Health, nutrition, hygiene. Hygeia is her name. And so there's going to be a huge highlight on that. Think about it. The sun is in Virgo. It's in its own house, the 6th house. It is about health and nutrition and getting enough sleep and drinking enough water, exercising our bodies, eating good, nutritious food, making sure we're eating enough and not overindulging. So overindulgence, that Pisces full moon, people would have a tendency to overindulge, overimbibe, overdose. Okay. And then the other notes that I took, there's a lot of intensity with Mercury squaring Pluto, trining Jupiter, opposing Uranus. Intense. I'm sure people have been feeling it. We're getting to the core of our patterns of resistance. We're going to be doing or needing to be doing a deep self-inventory. It is it's about relationships, our relationships to ourselves, to others, to things. Very self-revealing when we go within and look at our shadow. Old patterns are falling away if we're willing to do the work. This is about forgiveness, perspective, insights, acceptance, radical acceptance of other people, unconditional love, acceptance without conditions, quiet and stillness. September 22nd is going to be a really crazy day. I have a feeling, and September 25th, we're getting ready. We're finalizing agreements and making decisions, working, trying to get last minute things done. And it's all about letting go. And yeah, the glamour magic is still around. Temptation. So I had written that down specifically because the glamour magic, remember I talked about pyrite, and actually when I was shuffling for the crystal card, pyrite came flying out of the deck, and I said, no, I'm not going to use it again, but I'll mention it. The glamour magic, like people enticing, incenting us to decide or go in a certain direction. The temptations will be great, but we will pay for them. And in the shamanic cards that I posted on Facebook and Instagram this whole week, almost every card talked about the different temptations and are you willing to pay for, taking that glamour magic, taking that temptation, because you will. I think everybody really just needs to sit in their center, hermitize, as I call it. And I know that's not going to be easy for people that have children or, having to run a household and everything, but really try to take as much time for yourselves as possible, because we're all looking within ourselves to find out why we feel the way we feel. Try and figure out what is it that we really want? What do you want from certain people? Are your expectations ridiculous? Realizing to not point the finger at other people for the way that you feel. So it's like we're doing some really big deep dives this week. Also, I just wanted to put up here so that you would have it. It's the energy of the planets once again. And I'm just going to put that here. So if you wanted to take a look at that, screenshot it, pause it, so you can see what that energy is. And then also too, I have here what each house means. So where's that full moon falling in? And these are the themes. So when I said, you know, completions and conclusions are coming, closure is coming to wherever the full moon falls in your chart, these are the places that we're going to be talking about. You know, if you have the full moon falling in your 8th house, it's going to be about, you know, your shared resources. I circulate, I get around, sex, death, letting go, regeneration, other people's money and sharing, you know, etc. For the collective, it's in the 12th house. So solitude, institutions, transcendence, self-sabotage. That's what you would be letting go of. But solitude, it's about, you know, meditating and connecting with the divine and your intuition and your psychic abilities. And then also too, here's a different, more flavorful depiction of what the houses are. All right. And I think that's it for that. I'm going to stop sharing and I'll get the charts ready. So I had a contest a few weeks ago. Excuse me. I had a contest a few weeks ago for a movie quote, and I talked about this in last week's video. And so I'm going to read the winner's charts, just do a little mini read and bump it up against the full moon, the full harvest moon. And yeah, so hold on. All right, so I'm going to bring up, oh, sorry. I wanted to bring up, I have to pause that. I have to pause the share real quick. This isn't working. Sorry, I wanted to bring up the chart without everybody seeing your personal information. And I don't know if that's working. I'm sorry. All right. All right. Hopefully you didn't see that. I was trying to cover up the personal information of Jennifer. So the contest was a movie quote from the movie Legend, and Jennifer answered it correctly first on Facebook. So I said that I would do her chart for this full moon. Anyway, I just wanted to point out your chart if you didn't see it before. You are a 9-degree Cancer. Your moon is at 9 degrees Pisces, and you are a 25-degree Libra ascendant. So what I already know, first of all, the full moon is in Pisces, but it is 21 degrees away from your own personal moon. So yeah, there will be some influence, but not a lot, but it's in the 5th house. The other thing that is really interesting is that your ascendant is at the degree that Mercury will be going retrograde. And then I want to pay attention to where do you have Taurus? What do you have there? And, you know, of course, what do you have in Libra? Because that's going to be affected. Where's your Mercury? Your own personal Mercury is in Leo in the 10th house. So be careful with communications at work, because there's going to be some snafus. And your Venus is in Gemini. That's interesting that your personal planets are like so far away from each other, because I usually see them closer and on this side of the sun in most cases. So let's put the overlay in, and hopefully I'll be able to still keep you keep your personal information, Jennifer. And we're going to do the full moon. I have a lot of different. Oh, there we go again. I'm sorry. Cover that up real quick, and just in case you didn't want anybody to see. All right, so I can animate this. All right, let's take a look. This is the inner wheel is your birth chart. The outer wheel are how the planets are going to, where their positions will be at the exact time of the full moon in Pisces. Eastern Standard Time, it will be 7:54, 56 seconds. And I do list in my blog all of the different time zones. So you'll have to look at the companion blog for that, or look up your time zone. So see, we have Mercury at 23 degrees of Libra. It's only days away from hitting that 25th degree. So this is really going to affect you, Jennifer, outside of this full moon issue. It started at 10 degrees of Libra. So it's actually going to be from right around this area all the way through this area. So what is it affecting? It's hitting your Juno, which is was Zeus's wife. So she was the wife, she was the matriarch of the family. Also, it's your Uranus, so you could expect the unexpected. 12th house. So these are, go back and take a look at those themes for the houses, but the 12th house is about our inner workings, our inner thoughts, the way that we feel. With this Juno being here, it's like the way that you're feeling about relationships with other women. Also, it could be like, you know, Juno was always jealous and angry because Zeus was always cheating on her. Uranus, game changer, because you can expect the unexpected. So with this being in Libra, this is all about your relationships, your whole Mercury retrograde, but it's mostly the relationship that you have to yourself and how you're feeling about all the different things in your life, all the different people, and the inanimate things like your relationship to everything. You know, I've talked about it over and over and over again. But let's focus now on this full moon real quick. So the full moon is here at 28 degrees of Pisces. Here's your moon. See how far away they are? It's 21 degrees away. So there is some influence, but you know, it's not going to be as strong as if, you know, the moon was right on top of your moon. It is in your 5th house. So this is saying to me, when it comes to closure and completion, the 5th house speaks of romance, creativity, our own children, you know, and it's in Pisces. So it's your feet. I don't know why I'm thinking feet. This is what's coming through. But it's also your intuition, the way you see the world. And with Pisces in the 5th house, this is about creating art, creating music, creating beauty, things of beauty. You've got Neptune riding right alongside. There could be some fogginess when it comes to your fifth house. Are you allowing yourself to have enough fun? Are you enjoying the pleasures in life? Are you enjoying romance? Are you enjoying your children if you have children? You know, there's got to be something. If things are preventing you from that, this is so creative to have Pisces in the fifth house, because it's like channeled art, channeled beauty coming through. I know a lot of people that have, you know, Pisces in the fifth that are beautiful chefs. They create masterpieces, like visually beautiful food. So this could be you indulging in a hobby of where you're creating things. It's a place of decompression for you, I feel. Let's take a look. You're upon a Chiron Chiron return, not retrograde. Chiron is retrograde. Your Chiron is in Aries in the sixth house. So Chiron is past life wounds. In Aries, it's about the self. And with it being the sixth house, it's your health, your daily routine. It could be, you know, pets that you have or animals that you've had throughout your life. It's also the job that you're doing to earn a paycheck. There are wounds there, but it is all about the self. And we're going to take that right back to the relationship with yourself. Okay. Because the sun is going to be moving into Libra within hours after this full moon. So the sun is going to be within, you know, 12 days, really opposing your own Chiron, putting the pressure on for you to take deep, hard looks within yourself and ask, you know, what is it that you truly want? How are people and situations in your life making you feel? This would be a great time for you to journal. A couple weeks ago with the Virgo full moon, when I did the original astrology tutorial, I talked about doing homework and journaling at the end of every day. And, you know, I used to do that decades ago. Don't have time for it. I have been doing that work every night, and it's been amazing. Even just jotting down a couple of things, like a couple totems or signs that I saw from the day, or how did I feel that day? So I would really love to see you try and do that, because it'll be a way of also decompressing, and it'll be opening up your creativity for you to get those words out, especially with your Venus being in Gemini and your Saturn in Gemini in the eighth house. This is like investigative work on, like I could see you being like a book editor, you know, or some type of literary editor with Saturn and Venus in the eighth house. It's like doing research, but it's written, it's literary. What else was I talking about? I said, pay attention to where Uranus is, not only your own, because there's going to be a lot of shakeups. Venus is having conversations with Uranus, and that's your seventh house. So changes, unexpected things happening. Also, Uranus is getting ready to conjunct Vesta. So that's the home and the hearth. So things I would expect, seeing this, that things are happening in the home. I just feel there's like chaotic energy. I know that Pluto is also playing a big role. Pluto is just about conjuncting your North Node, and it is on the IC, which is the point of everything that's in the home, the roots, you know, it's right before the fourth house. I do feel like changes are happening in the home. You know, children could be leaving. They could be moving on to, you know, the next stage, so to speak, because during this full moon, look, the actual IC is up here in the ninth house. So like moving on to university. And I don't know, because I really don't know you. So Um, let's see, what else do I see? You know, of course, Mars, angry arguments in the relationships. There's a lot of dynamics happening in Libra. We also want to look at Scorpio. So you remember I said Venus doesn't like being in Scorpio. That is your first house. You also have Black Moon Lilith here, which is fears, past life fears that you brought in, and it's all about yourself. That would definitely link to the sixth house and your Chiron. Beware, especially with Juno up here, beware of jealousy, vindictiveness, anger. You'll need to channel that in a more creative type of way, you know, the fifth house, and burn that energy off, because it will result in dis-ease. You know, it could result in illness, especially with these aspects that I'm seeing here. And definitely something's going to be going on at the job when I see this stellium of yours up here in the 10th house, making the aspects that they are to what's going on in the planets. And I'm trying to yeah, so that's a sextile, Mercury sextiling yours. So that's actually harmonious. You could be making some sort of a deal. Don't sign any contracts or make any changes in your work until after November 3rd. Let's just move this ahead a tiny, tiny bit so you can see what's happening here. So, you know, Chiron is retrograde. It's moving back through your sixth house. It's having you take a look at some right here, you know, health issues and daily routine. It's going to definitely be coming back around again. Here we go. Nope, still moving, still retrograding for quite some time. Chiron just wants you to really focus on this sixth house. Let's see how far back it's going to retrograde. There we go. All right, so by February, it's conjuncting your personal. So you've got several months of this inner work going on, to be honest with you. Stop sharing. I hope that gives you some insight, and you'll have to let me know if this resonated with you or not. Thank you, Jennifer, for playing the contest. All right, so another supporter of Expressions of the Universe chimed in with the name of the character that said that movie quote. So I thought, oh, you know what? I'll do a little mini reading as a gratis for her. And that was Lynette. And she was also on Facebook. So just real quick, Lynette, here's your chart. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. You have your sun in Gemini. Yay. I'm a 13-degree Gemini, so we're only a couple days apart. Your moon is in Taurus. I'm a Taurus rising, and you have a Cancer rising at 1 degree. So I know that Uranus is transiting your 11th house. So there's probably a lot of things happening in your friendships, maybe with other people's children, your acquaintances, your social life, a lot of changes there. And let's see, North Node, you have your South Node. So this could have been a struggle, like trying to find your direction during this time. That should lighten up because the North Node is moving into your 11th house. But anyway, let me pull up your full moon chart. We're going to put Lynette and the full moon. We're going to view, and then I'm going to cover up your personal information. Okay, so you have Pisces in the 10th house. That's where the full moon is hitting, right at 28 degrees. So let me see. It is just about conjuncting your Vesta, although when it comes to asteroids, we really shouldn't use more than a 2-degree orb, which is, so your Vesta is 22. I wouldn't want to go any lower than 20 or any higher than 24. So I think probably hours leading up to it'll conjunct your Vesta. So 10th house, a lot of times that's your career status in the world. It's the father figure. Vesta, she's the goddess of the home and the hearth. And so there is a possibility, that there could be some loss within the home on a male figure, possibly. There's going to be some, or it could be like even closure and completion that you have with a male figure. And just one moment. I have to go back to trying to find my I've been talking all day long. Drink of water. So yeah, there could be some closure and completion, whether it's, a job or with a male figure or somebody that has something over you, so to speak. You've got Chiron transiting that area too. So like fears, wounds about yourself, your adequacy, inadequacy could be coming up in that area as well. And the 10th house, well, I did just talk about those themes. Let's see, the sun is transiting your 4th house. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some sort of family dynamic for sure going on here. And you don't have to tell me, and I don't know anything about you. We also have Mars transiting there. So there could be some heated conversations, aggression, action, like you could even be preparing to possibly move house or change things around in the house. See, what else am I seeing? The Mercury retrograde is going to be taking place right on the cusp of your 5th house through your 5th house. Okay, so it's right here in the 5th house. So for you, when it comes to communication, I really feel it's like looking within to figure out what is it that you want when it comes to romance, when it comes to your children, when it comes to the joy that you're having in life. Like, are you having these conversations? So you are a Gemini, so I would assume that, you do express yourself, but you are Cancer rising and you're an early degree Cancer rising. So I would think that you may keep a lot of stuff in emotionally, and that's not healthy. And so, this is really about you going within and figuring out, like the stories that you're telling yourself of surrounding those 5th house things. So Pluto has been transiting your 7th house, entering your 8th house. And I am wondering if there has been some sort of a split within the home, within the family, and now you're coming to split some sort of an ending, because I would think that possibly you're coming to a settlement, or you have gone through some sort of a settlement or an inheritance or division of property of some sort. Expect the unexpected when it comes to meeting new people, New social acquaintances, keep your eye open for that over the next couple of years. And yeah, since this is just like a little mini, little mini, I'm going to stop sharing there. And then there's one other person that I wanted to bring up that answered correctly on Instagram, and I don't even think I have her in here. Before I end this, client charts. I don't even know if I have her in here. Oh, maybe I have her in my palace. Looking for my daughter's chart. I don't even know. Oh, there she is. There she is. So I want to put her up here. Take a look, because she has a Pisces moon. So that's why I wanted to bring her up. And my daughter answered correctly, was the first person to answer correctly on Instagram, because I know not everybody's on Facebook. Let's take a look. So I know she was born with a Pisces moon, and in the fourth house, her sun is 28 degrees of Aquarius. She has a 6 degrees Pisces moon. She was born on a new moon. So it is far enough away degree wise that it's not going to have huge influence, but there will be some closure and completion for her. Crystal, I'll have to let you know that I did your chart in the fourth house. So here we have, it's in the home, the family, the roots, the ancestors. She doesn't have a whole lot of ancestors left, so it better not be me. And let's see, where is, do I have, oh, I guess Hygeia is not up in this chart for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, because I didn't select that for the palace charts. She is a Scorpio rising, so this Venus is going to have effect on her, but this could bring out the passion in her. And I've been talking too long, so I'm going to have to be ending this. Surprise is happening in health and relationships, because it's like right on the cusp here. The sun is in Virgo, and that's in her 10th house. And that's been really good to her because she just got a really nice promotion, and it's getting ready to move into her 11th house. That's other people's children. It's your acquaintances and your social life. So that would be good. Just looking to see if I see anything specific that stands out. So interesting too is that Pluto is in her third house right now, transiting her third house. And I know that she and her husband are looking to possibly change neighborhoods and buy a new house and move, but waiting on the market. So yeah, this moon too. So I want to animate this, and this is what I was looking for. And I don't think my daughter watches my videos. This went back to September 17th. Wait, I don't know why that did that. Anyway, weeks. I'm going to move 1 week ahead. So right after, yeah, I don't know why this is moving the way it is. Wait, sorry. I got to do it by days. So the full moon is on September 20th, but then it moves right into Aries, and it's still full, and it'll be her 5th house. So I'm looking to see if, like, she's going to be bringing some children in to her, into her family. Especially if I go back those 2 days, this moon is in her 4th house family. So we'll see. And I know that she's very, very scared about the whole entire thing. So that totally makes sense. She has an Eris there. So that's the power and the need to have this. I know that she's very interested in that, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I don't even think, am I even still doing it? Yeah. I don't even know if I was, oh my God, I may have to update this. I don't know if I shared my screen. I didn't. Anyway, let me stop recording. Oh no, wait, cancel.